Hello everyone, welcome to another pre-algebra with Professor V. So we're still going to be looking at division, a little bit of long, a little bit of not long division. But what we do really got to focus on for this one is what's called the remainder, right? Oops, remainder, geez. So if you think of the word remain, right, how many pieces are remaining? So I think for the other video we did like 15 divided by 3, we found that equaled 5, right? And that was because we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we had 5 groups. But what happens if you had 16 candies, right? What happens in this instance where there's 16 candies? Well, we have 5 groups of 3, right? We still have the 5 groups of 3. So we still have 5 groups that we could split it off into, right? We could give our 5 friends 3 candies each, but then we're left with 1 candy over, right? So 16 divided by 3 is going to be equal to 5, remainder 1. And we'll get into this, right? So let's go ahead and jump in. So for me, the best way to kind of see the remainder is, not sure if I'm going to have enough room down here. It's going to be 3 and 16, right? So we use long division. There might be another way. If there is, definitely, let me know. I love to learn new things, right? Because then if I learn something new, I could teach it to other people that are like, whoa, what's going on here? But anyways, so this one's a little bit trickier, right? I know I can only fit 5 of these in here. And the reason why I know that there can only be 5 groups is because 3 times 6 is actually 18, right? So if I think about this, right, let me try to encapsulate this. 16 divided by 3, right? I've told you can write it as 3 times a blank equals 16. Well, I can't write this as 6, right? That's too much. There won't, it's too many pieces, right? I don't have enough candy for that. That actually equals 18, right? So that very tricky concept, right? But I can do 5, right? 3 times 5. And if you know the order of operations, we add 1 at the end, right? So I can say there's 5 groups, right? But there will be 1 remaining, right? I could add that remaining 1, right? Because if you see this, right? 15, right? In the 5 groups. 15 plus 1, well, it ends up being 16, right? So hopefully I haven't lost you. I know this is tricky stuff. Um, but anyway, so you gotta use a number that won't be bigger. Oops, I should go back to, there we go. So your answer can't be bigger than what's in the box, right? Your answer can be bigger than the dividend. Now 3 times 5 works because that's equal to 15, right? And 15 smaller than 16, so it does work. So now that we've divided something, right? And we placed our 5 in the tens value because it fits into 16, not 1, right? We would do 5 times 3, which ends up being 15. Now in our normal videos, we kept getting 0, 0, 0, right? For this one, right, what's 16 minus, well, 6 minus 5? 1. What's 1 minus 1? 0. So we don't really need to put anything. But there's nothing to bring down, right? There's nothing to bring down. So what I do with this 1 on the bottom is I call that the remainder. The there was remaining one piece of candy that I couldn't distribute to my friends. So let's go ahead and look at a couple more. Maybe, let's do 27 divided by. Or you know what? No, let's do 47. I like this number better. And let's go ahead and divide that by 4. So what that looks like, right, is 4 goes outside the box, 47 goes inside the box. So now we start left to right, right? 4. Oh, we could divide 4 by 4, right? It only fits in once, right? So if I've lost you, right, don't get too confused. 4 times what equals 4? Well, 1, right? Or the other way to look at it, right, is 4 divided by 4, right? That equals 1. So now we would multiply, right? We divided, we fit it in. 1 into 4 becomes 4. We subtract, we get 0. So since all we've done is handle the 4, there's still the 7, right? We got to go left to right. So we drop the 7 down next. Now we need to think, well, how many times can we fit 4 into 7? Well, we know 4 times 1 is 4, so let's go ahead and check 4 times 2. Well, that equals 8. I can't fit that in, right? 8's bigger than 7, so it doesn't work. So I can only fit it in one more time. So 1 times 4, again, right? But this one now, times 4, is going to be 4. But in this case, I don't think we're going to get 0, right? 7 minus 4 is 3. So for this answer, we end up with 11, remainder 3. And now, you students that are practicing this are super lucky because a lot of the smartphones and stuff are actually being programmed to put the remainder for us now. Back in the day, you would have got 11.75. And I'm not going to tell you how I got that number, but I promise you, if you do 47 divided by 4 in your calculator, you're going to get 11.75. We'll touch base on why that is later. There's a lot more to discover before we skip ahead. So anyway, let's try at least one more, right? Concept's probably as clear as mud right now. And all I could really tell you guys is it's going to take a lot of practice, you know. This stuff just takes a lot of practice. Maybe there's a cool game you can find, right? As I move forward, it would be cool to program something very similar to Khan Academy. I mean, with my own touch, of course, but you know, something that you could practice like Khan Academy. There's the OpenStax book that I showed you guys that'll also have answers for all the odd ones, right? So you can get a piece of paper, open the book, and work on all the odd problems. But anyway, let's at least try one more. So let's see. Try not to pick like too big of ones, right? Do do. I don't know. I'm trying to blank now. Maybe something like 100 divided by 6. Let's see if that gets too complicated. So that would mean we'd have 6 into 100, right? Now if I go left to right, right, I can't fit 6 into 1. It is too tiny. So I gotta keep going. Oh, well, 6 does fit into 10. Oh, okay. So I should probably use 10 when I'm thinking about this, right? So I don't know where to put it. Gosh, this is the thing with all this long division. I'm gonna put it over here, okay? So it's gonna be my little scrap paper. So 6 times 1 is equal to 6. Oh, well, that's smaller than 10. That's looking good. Should I just use it? No, right? I should probably check the next number just to double check. Unless I'm really good with my multiplication and I already know it's 12. Well, 12 is bigger than 10, so I can't use it, right? So I know this is only going to fit in once, and it fits into the 10, right? I'm dividing 6 by 10, right? I concluded that it won't fit into the 1. So now I would multiply, as that's the next step in the algorithm. 1 times 6 is 6. And yes, I place it above the 0, right? I'm still in this lane. This is the lane that I live in. Now 10 minus 6 is 4. Of course, you can borrow. It's a redundant borrowing, right? Because if you were to pass that number over, it still becomes 10, right? So if you have to borrow, no shame. No shame. You do it. You handle it, and, it's good. You know what you're doing, right? As long as you're getting 4 right here, we're golden. So if you have to borrow for this concept, that's fine. Eventually you'll borrow enough from these ones that you'll just realize, oh, well, I could just say 10 minus 6, right? But anyway, so now I've subtracted, well, there is something to bring down this 0, right? And this one's going to be a little bit trickier. The closest one that comes up to my brain, right, is 6 times 6. If I just use some random multiplications, right? Oh yeah, 6 times 6 is 30. Oh man, that's really close to 40. But I'm going to probably check 6 times 7, just in case, right? So 6 times 7 happens to be 42. Oh, I can't fit that in. 42 is too big, right? So 6 times 6 is going to be my ticket here. So how many times does 6 fit into 40? Well, it fits in 6 times. 6 times 6. Oh, well, that's 36. I wrote it over here. Now I subtract them, right? And again, this is 4. So if you need a borrow here, no big deal, right? That's a 3. This becomes a 10. So it's 10 minus 6, 4. 3 minus 3, 0. Now, if you're wondering, how do I get to put 4 here so fast? Well, I know 36 to 40, right? I actually use my fingers, and I know you can't see me, but I start at 36. I go up 37, 38, 39, 40. Oh, I have 4 fingers up, so it must be 4, right? It's not any magic that I know. It just some tricks that you learn along the way. Now, there's nothing to bring down, so technically I'm done. So what this 4 ends up being is a remainder, right? There's 4 pieces remaining of my candy, etc., etc. Now, if you punch that into a calculator, I believe you're going to get, what, 16.666. Eventually you'll get a 7. So, depending on how much your calculator can display. But this is long division with the remainder, okay? So, this is how we do it. Working with division, I feel like addition and multiplication are really simple. I mean, and I don't mean to say it to like make anybody feel bad, right? But when you realize multiplication is just addition, right? But of the same number, you realize you already have that skill when you practiced it, right? It adds on very easily, right? It's like, oh, okay, I just got to count by threes, right? Skip counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Subtraction, a little bit more tricky, right? We learned this concept of borrowing, right? Kind of connects to addition, right? We realize it's the opposite of the addition. But division, right? It's a tricky thing. It really is a tricky thing. And this goes into fractions. This goes into a lot of anxiety for students. So, what I want to tell you is just take it easy, right? Make sure you're practicing your multiplications. If you have the flashcards, do it. If you have a whiteboard, start filling out a multiplication chart. Erase the thing. Fill it out again. Fill it out again. Over and over. Because the more you practice something, anything in this life, realistically, you're going to get better at it. And, you know, to get good at math, it just takes a lot of practice, you know, and I think sometimes to people it's not as fun as a game, right? It's not leveling up in a game, but if you turn this into a game and you say, "Oh man, I couldn't do this long division stuff and now I can," you know, it's an amazing feeling. But anyway, guys, you know, take your time, practice with this stuff. It will get easier with time. And you know, like and subscribe if this video brought you a little value. Comment down below if you're having problems with this particular topic or another one. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you have a great day.